welcome our Buffalo Bulls to the press conference room. We'll go ahead and let head coach Felicia Leggett-Jack open with an opening statement, and then we'll have questions for student athletes Autumn Jones and also Sierra Dillard. Coach?
I give the honor to God who's ahead of my life. I'm so grateful to be in the foxhole with these 14 young ladies who teaches lessons to me every single day. And I was trying to come up with something to motivate the team with, and just nothing came to my spirit. And I got a text from AJ that gave us an inspiration to share with the team and to share with me and to remind me that you don't just go out there and you do it. There's something bigger than you. There's something that's magical happening to this team. And that had inspired me, and I think I talked to the players, and they went out there and did what we usually do. We play great defense.
If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get the microphone over to you, okay?
For both Sierra and Autumn, just take us through that sequence. Sierra, you hit a three. You had a rare 4-point play, and then you guys come right back down. You get a steal. Autumn, you hit another three. Just take us through that sequence and how important that was in the third quarter.
It was a big, important plays. Coach preaches about defense. She's a defensive-minded coach, and we know that when we get stops and we get out in transition, great things happen. So I think we focus a lot on defense. Stephanie Reed, our floor general, talked about our pressure and pressuring the guards and just getting out. And when you have unbelievable posts who can move as fast as Brittany Morrison and Summer Henfield, great things happen.
I think I agree with her at the same time. I just feel like as a team, we know each other. So Sierra got the steal. She could have easily took the shot, but she knew that the type of energy I have, she knew that I was going to knock it down, and she had confidence in me.
You guys really started to find your shot there in the third quarter. What changed heading into that second half?
What changed for us is just our defense. When we play good defense, everything just falls in place. So once we get steals, our shots just magically go in.
Sierra, you're 8th in the nation in steals as a team. Nothing necessarily against any past team you played on, but what can you say about this defensive unit collectively compared to any other team you've been on, or how is it different?
I think we just read each other. We read each other very well. I think it has to do with Coach Jack. She's the most defensive-minded coach I've ever played for. And the way she inspires us to play defense and the way she has confidence in us to do our thing. Everybody is good individually on defense. When I play with Autumn Jones and Stephanie Reed, they put the pressure, and it's easy for me to get steals when you have a guard who's panicking with the pressure that they put on each other. So I think just the coaching that she does and the coaching that Coach Jack inspires us to play defense well.
You're 21st in the nation in steals as a player. What do you think allows you to do that besides the team concept? What about your anticipation allows you to make steals? Have any of you always been good at steals?
I take no credit. It's always the team. And when I have posts who can move as well as our posts do, and I have guards who can pressure as well as our guards do, it's easy to get steals. And I think anybody can get steals on our team. I think we have, the last 10 games, we have at least 3 or 4 players averaging 3 steals a game. So it's never me or anything like that. It's always the team, and they just make it unbelievable to play with.
Coach Jack talked in the past about the energy Autumn brings to the team. What is that for you? Question for both of you.
Oh, for me, my energy is just, I feel like that's what I'm good at. So she always tells us to be all we can be. So I know what I'm good at, so I just have to come in when the energy is low. I just have to come in, just get my team hype, and just it falls in place after that.
Honestly, when you look at Coach Jack on the sideline, how do you not have energy? That's how she is 24/7. So any energy that we don't feel that we have, we look at her and she's bounced as high as the players on the court, the energy just flows right out of you.
Mm-hmm.
This is for either player. I know you're concentrating on winning this tournament, but I was wondering if there was any urgency today to win this game to ensure that you would get an at-large NCAA bid, because there's actually some sites that still had you on the bubble, believe it or not.
I just see it as us focusing one game at a time, never looking forward, never looking off another game, just focusing one game at a time. And Coach Jack has us prepared for playing one game at a time. We can never look over anybody else. Western Michigan is an unbelievable team. Our hats off to them and what they did with that program. They are great. And Coach just has us, focusing actually not one game at a time, but 5 minutes at a time.
For Autumn or Sierra. For you guys, kind of just describe the feeling of knowing that you do now have a chance to play for a MAC title, and not only just a MAC title, but the second MAC title in 3 years for this team.
It's unbelievable. I'm coming from a junior college, so I never would have imagined that a year later, for us not making it into the postseason last year, a year later I will be right here in the chance to win a championship. So I'm really excited.
We started this in June when we didn't have a chance to get into the NIT or any postseason. Coach preached about that this is where our season starts. So we started this in June, and just being in that moment of getting back to where you were 2 years ago, and especially me, where I wasn't able to be on that unbelievable ride that they took 2 years ago, and coming from a 500 major team. Just being able to play with these team and just being able to play for a phenomenal woman like Coach Jack is unbelievable. And just playing in the MAC championship is just icing on the cake.
This will be for both of you. We'll start with you, Sierra. To get Central Michigan, again, top two teams, the top two dogs in the conference. I know you don't want to look ahead, but is this the matchup that you girls were looking for?
We were just focusing on Western Michigan, but playing against Central Michigan, where we went 1-1 during the regular season, it's an unbelievable opportunity, and they did an amazing job throughout the regular season. And just being able to be in the MAC championship alone is great. Just looking forward just to playing whoever, and it is obviously Central Michigan right now. I think it's just unbelievable.
Well, Sierra and Autumn, we'll go ahead. Don't let you finish with that.
To piggyback off what she said, we weren't really. It wasn't like we cared who we got. We just wanted to make sure we was there. So I feel like making sure we were there was just the main focus. So now we just got to go get prepared for who we play, which is Central.
Autumn, Sierra, we'll let you get back to the locker room. Congratulations.
Thank
and
you.
We'll
Thank
continue
you.
with more questions for head coach.
Great. You go this way. You guys are awesome. Awesome. Okay.
You go, girl.
No, what? Talking to your mother.
Coach, kind of going off of what I asked Autumn and Sierra, but from your perspective, what does this say about what you guys have built here with this program to now be going for the second MAC title in 3 years?
It hasn't been about winning. When I'm an older coach, it has always to do with what do you want them to remember you for. Put your energy towards that. If you're a rebounder, rebound the ball. If you're a sprinter, sprint the floor. If you're a shooter, shoot the ball. And then you have to have a sisterhood. You have to have a oneness. You have to have a connectedness. And through that, I think magic happens. And I just felt like, when every team I've been on, we've created that, and the results have always been successful. So we're excited that it all turned out the way it has. I know that we're a lot more talented than we were last year by inserting those two young ladies that was to my left. But then you also keep a Stephanie and Summer. And you can't forget about Cassie, who her best game is going to be tomorrow. So we have the pieces in place. I think that we're going after the MAC championship. But I tell these young ladies, why not reach for the moon? Why not challenge yourself to think about winning a national title? We've already done the MAC championship. And if everybody put on their uniform the same way you do, why can't you win those games? So our vision is bigger and is grandeur. And I think by thinking that way, we bring great notoriety to this conference that has been great for many, many years.
I know Sierra joked about the energy that you have on the sideline, but the energy that Autumn brings when she hits the court, it just seems infectious. Like your team's energy level just goes to another level.
You need to come on our bus trips. I can't wait till that child go to sleep. But she is like that 24/7 as well. They're just fun. They're just good kids. They're just energetic. And I just say, just be all of who you are. Whatever it is, we can always tone that down. But it just bothers me when kids feel like they have to be a certain way, act a certain way all the time. Let go and let magic happen. And whatever it is, we'll figure it out together. But if you don't be who all you are, then guess what? you'll never know how great you can be. And those phenomenal women that's out there, and being International Women's Day yesterday, I said that gives you permission to be everything. And greatness is in all of us. All we got to do is go out and take it. And they bring energy. I bring energy. And sometimes it's just, Coach Cherie says, somebody has to calm down. And it's either you, Coach, or the kids, or I'm getting off this bus. So I love this team. I love what we're creating. And it's through magic of energy.
Coach,
Sorry.
Is there a different feeling going into this championship game tomorrow? You and Central have both put together tremendous resumes. There's got to be a pretty good feeling that both of you are going to be in the NCAA tournament. Does that change how you feel about going for a league title tomorrow?
No, I have a lot of respect for Sue and what she's done at Central Michigan. She is a very good coach. She and I used to work against each other when she was at Michigan and I was at Michigan State. Always respected her. As far as our concern with this game, it's just the next step. It's just the next team. I don't put a lot of emphasis on, oh gosh, it's Central Michigan, or oh my goodness, it's the MAC championship. We've done this already. And so sometimes I always tell these young ladies, I said, it's like your first kiss when you don't know what to do. You pucker up and you got to talk to your sisters all about it. We've already done that. And so now it's about us being able to be comfortable in our own skin and play these 5 minutes at a time, sit down for those 2.5 minutes during a timeout, and then go out there and reignite yourself into the game 5 minutes after that. We always say reset during timeouts, meaning it's now beginning again. So I'm excited about where we are. I'm not satisfied where we are. Our goal is to win a game in the NCAA and then go beyond that.
Sierra, certainly gave the credit to the teammates, but what can you say about her? She's in the top 20 in the nation in steals. Her quick hand, it seems like she's gifted. What about her defensive gifts?
She grew up with brothers. She grew up a lot of guys. She grew up in the rec center in Rochester, where she just absolutely loved the game. She has a very high IQ. You don't find a lot of women that have the IQ of a Sierra Dillard. I recruited her since the 9th grade, and we didn't get her the first time. And when she gave us a call that she might be wanting to come back home, I'm like, God, I've done a lot of things. I'm apologizing right now. But to bless me with a young lady like a Sierra Dillard for 2 years is something you dream about. She not only is going to be the best player in the IQ and the quick hands and the defender and the three-point shooter, she's a young lady that brings the coffee to the coaches when she thinks that they're too tired. She's the one that when our players sat on that bench and cried because she thought she hurt a kid and put her in the hospital, she sat there and said, let's pray right now, but we got to lock back into the game and we can pray tonight, but we cannot stop doing what we need to do. She gets it.
There was, I think, early in the second half, 3 timeouts or play stoppages in a row where you came out of the break in the full court press and got turnovers right away. Just what did you think about that? And is it, like a veteran team, they just execute what you're doing? Or what do you think about that?
I think that, you got to, with that team right there, I knew that they only had one ball handler, and I thought their number 4 was a very dominant right-handed player. And so every time she got the ball, we were going to run at her right hand. And it seemed that that worked. And we didn't care if the bigs brought the ball up, but their bigs wouldn't bring the ball up. And so that it seemed to work. Sometimes you call things as coaches at work and sometimes it doesn't. But they were so locked in. If you notice, everybody was sitting down on defense, just waiting and chomping at the bits. And this team is ready. This team is out there. This team is a team that need to be celebrated on the biggest stage. And I'm so grateful that they're bringing me along for the ride.
I'll ask you what I asked the girls. Was there any thought in your mind, as outrageous as it seems, that your at-large bid could have been on the line today if you'd lost?
I tell our players all the time, when you leave your future or your destination in somebody else's hands, don't feel disappointed because you allowed that to happen. You take it out of their hands. You get to the biggest stage, you win the games where they have to put you there. We understand it's been a one-team conference for many years. I think we've made that change now, but it's important that we understand there's still a possibility. And if you allow that to happen 2 years in a row, shame on you. And so what we're trying to do is keep our destiny in our own hands.
Coach Jack, there seems to be a common narrative this season where you guys play a close first half and then an incredibly strong second half. What do you think makes this team able to do that against so many different opponents?
They go when they go, but they stay focused the entire time. And sometimes we haven't played Western Michigan since January 3rd, so we really didn't know them fully. And so we had to figure out what they were going to bring, and I thought they did a tremendous job shooting the ball yesterday. And so here we go. We're going to make some decisions. You go player to player, or do you go zone? Well, we said that we're going to lock into who we are and then see what happens. And the zone seemed to stifle them a little bit, but it didn't, knock them over the edge. And I asked the team at halftime, do we stay with the same defense? And they said, no, coach, we extend the defense. And so this is a team that's responsible for their own success, and they tell me what they want to do. I agree with them, and I just clap as they go. Thank you so much for all you guys do.